Hey guys, welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast YouTube channel. My name is Samaria and I'm joined by my best friend and co-host Miosha. And today we're doing another Am I the A-hole reaction video, the first one of the new year actually. So make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up and comment down below what your thoughts are about these scenarios. All right, we'll
Mhm.
jump right in. The first one says, am I the a-hole for uninviting someone to my New Year's Eve party?
Hmm.
I had a small party on the 22nd of December, and I invited a woman I recently met at a sports club. She is German, new in town, and doesn't have many friends, and I'm moving to Germany in spring, so we've hung out a bit. I told her about my New Year's Eve party and invited her to come. She said it sounded fun and that she would be there. We didn't discuss timing, etc. That night, she left at about 1 a.m. She had eaten a couple mushrooms, which are legal there, and had a couple beers. The party continued until 5 a.m. and got wild. I realized she would not like the vibe of my big New Year's Eve party, so I just dropped it.
Hmm.
We we met up on the 28th of December and neither of us mentioned New Year's Eve. I thought that was the end of it and she had already made other plans. She wrote me three general chatty messages, not asking for specific details about the party, on the 29th and 31st of December, and I didn't reply. this, this part gets me. My party was great. We ate at my house, started the party here, and went into town for the fireworks as planned. We saw her there, I hugged her, and everything was fine. Yesterday, she went to the sports club. I wasn't there. She heard about my party from our mutual friends. In the evening, she wrote me this message. This is kind of long.
Mhm.
I heard about your New Year's Eve, I guess, party today, and I'm hurt by how you treated me. I think you owe me an apology. When you invited me to join you and I said yes, I obviously thought I had plans for New Year's Eve. I only realized that I was no longer welcome at about 5 p.m. You should have told me you had changed your mind in time for me to make other plans. My German friends had already left for City A, and it was too late for me to go to City B. I couldn't even join my housemates because they went somewhere that needed tickets and there were no more tickets left. I ended up spending the night with a couple of strangers. They were lovely and I had fun, but I'm hurt that strangers were nicer to me than you because until then I thought we were friends. It would not have taken you much to tell me that I should make other plans. I think it was mean and cowardly to just ignore me until I figured it out. I hope that when you're in Germany, a long way from home, and struggling to communicate and make new friends, that they are kinder to you than you were to me. I haven't replied. I think the message is way too much. She should have realized plans had changed when I didn't tell her the details, confirm with her if she was coming, or even mention it to her on the 28th. That was plenty of time for her to get tickets or go to another city. I don't think it was my fault she left it to the last minute and missed out. She had a good night anyway and was happy when we saw her. Am I the a hole?
Yes, you are.
I don't think we've
And
seen a bigger a hole since we started doing these.
I mean, well, first I want to start with what gave you the impression that she wouldn't enjoy your bigger New Year's Eve party? So when y'all partied together before, she enjoyed herself, didn't complain. I
Yes,
feel like we need more information around why did you assume.
because she left at 1 when the party kept going until 5. But it's like, how was she supposed to know the party was going until 5? Maybe she went to get home.
That and since she's already experienced partying with you,
Hmm.
why would she accept the invite? She could have just said, "Oh, I'm busy. Oh, I don't have time." So it sounds like you took the choice out of her hand after you had
Yes.
already invited her, on top of the fact you
Mhm.
didn't communicate it to her. And I think, I mean, it sounds like you may be overseas, we're in the US, but I know here, New Year's Eve, it's hard to just make plans the day of, especially if
Right.
you plan on going to a venue. You may need tickets, as she said. So I'd assume it's probably similar in Europe. So, of course, if it's 5 p.m., most people will leave for New Year's at least by 9. That
Yeah.
means she has to figure out what her plans are. And then, yeah, you are. I'm sorry.
No, and she's an awful communicator. So if there was something that she did at your party that suggested to you, oh, she wouldn't have fun, like maybe talk to her about it, confirm that you're making big decisions based off of an assumption, a large assumption. And so like the part that gets me is at the end when she's like, she should have just figured it out. No, girl, use your words. This is one where I wish they would have put their ages because
Mm.
are you 12? Like, I don't understand. Even 12-year-olds understand, like, oh, let me show common courtesy to somebody and let them know, hey, plans have changed.
And if she's like most people, you may assume, well, man, did something happen? If this person was communicating to me just fine, you said that y'all shared some chatty messages, wasn't
Mhm.
about New Year's Eve, but y'all were in full communication up until that point. So why would she make that assumption? If anything, she's like, oh, something could be wrong, something could have
Mhm.
happened. My mind wouldn't go to, oh, I was uninvited.
Right? Exactly. And then the audacity of her not to respond to any text messages that this girl sent. Like, and talking about, well, she didn't ask for a specific party. Yeah, she was probably just checking in with her friend and assume, okay, when she responds, I'll get the details later. But your lack of response, she could have thought anything happened to you. Like, okay, what if she's going through something? I'm just here, like, girl, can you send me the party details? Like,
And then you say, "Oh, I think the message was way too much." So you think that it's too much that she's taken the time to fully communicate her thoughts and feelings to you so that there's no confusion on where she stands, what she
mm-hmm,
thinks, how she's feeling. I think there is some growth that may need to take place in terms of communication here.
absolutely. I want to be friends with the German lady because I think this is really so nice of her to to send this type of a message where she's not rude or anything. Like the worst thing she says was, when you're in Germany, I hope people are kinder to you than you are to me.
And even that's nice.
Right. I hope they're kind to you. Excuse me? No, girl. I hope they leave you stranded on New Year's Eve. Like, she was
Yeah.
so kind in this
It
message.
it costs you nothing to say, "Hey, I don't think it's the best idea for you to come," or I don't know how you would communicate that because I don't know. It seems as though you may have felt a way that she left early
Right.
and you didn't want to communicate that. So in your mind, you uninvited her
Mm-hmm.
and didn't bother to communicate.
A
Yeah, it's
simple,
shady.
why did you leave early? Hey, is everything okay? Like, I noticed you left at 1 a.m., which is 1 a.m. early. That's why I need to see their ages because
Till
I,
5 a.m., they must be at least under 25.
to be
Have to
fair,
be.
1 a.m. has always been late to me. Like, I'm not even, like, I've just never been the night owl. So 1 a.m. is like, oh, I did my job as a friend, showing up for you
Oh,
in the event.
1,000%. And I even for me, even when I was younger, the
Mhm.
idea of leaving my house at midnight,
Yeah,
I would have need to be out of the house by 9:30, 10. And that's pushing it at least to like get my energy going. But to
exactly.
leave the house at midnight
It's too much. Oh
and what are you doing till 5? There's only one situation where I'd understand that, and that's Vegas,
she said
where
shrooms. They were on shrooms.
well, more most are well, not using drugs and stuff, but more so like cities that run late,
Yeah.
where it's just always stuff to do. But you're like, oh, we just left the lounge, so let's go out to eat. And before you know it, you're like, oh my gosh, it's 4 a.m. I
Yeah.
guess we should head back. So in those instances, I get it, but yeah,
Oh.
we're dating ourselves.
Yeah.
Y'all let us know in the comments what
Please
y'all
let
think.
us.
I'm standing on. I think you should have responded back to that girl.
Yeah. Okay. So the one thing I will say is I probably would have left out some parts of the message. Like, I wouldn't have been like, well, it was too late for me to do this. And then I couldn't even do that. Like, I don't know that I would have even given her that
Yeah.
information.
Just because she
Uh,
cares.
Probably, but
Yeah.
I would have probably left that out because, you know, it doesn't seem like it is as necessary, but that's the only
Yeah.
thing. But you guys let us know what you, I can't imagine someone thinking that this lady is not the a-hole, but if that's you, please comment and let us know.
I
Why do you
mean,
think that?
as we saw over Vlogmas, I mean, sometimes people do see it differently, especially in the shorts.
And it fascinates me. So that's why I'm like, please comment and let me know the other perspective because I'm not seeing
Mhm.
it at all.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. All right, let's get into the next one. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to let my mother-in-law and her husband sleep in our bed while we travel? Samaria looks shook.
So not her mother-in-law and father-in-law, but her mother-in-law and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. We moved 3 months ago to my husband's birth town. His mother lives about an hour and a half away from us in a smaller city and occasionally stays over with us to do some errands. Even though we don't have the best relationships due to some behaviors on her side, I don't mind her coming over and I'm a good host in any situation. At this time, my mom, her boyfriend, and my sis came from far for New Year's Eve and are staying over on my husband's request for his birthday next week. While we travel with my mother, also will be caring for our dog that's a bit sick. Today, his mother texted asking to sleep in our bedroom tomorrow night while we travel.
Hmm.
That was due to our guest room being occupied by my family and she not wanting to be without AC for the night. I didn't like this idea. To me, a bedroom is something extremely personal and private. I find a huge invasion of privacy to share my bed and pillows with people, and I also don't feel comfortable to let someone else in the privacy of our room. It is important to say that I have issues with sleeping locations and sharing personal space with people. Even took a while for me to be able to sleep with my husband. It is something extremely important to me, and my husband is aware of it. We had different upbringings and sometimes we have different point of views on society and social cues. He found no issue to let his mother and her husband in our room. He doesn't really care. While I wouldn't allow my mom or anyone else to sleep in our room unless the circumstances were extreme, such as sickness, old age, or surgery, this was something really clear in my household. Before I really had a conversation with my husband, I asked my mom and she agreed with me. Also highlighting that she wouldn't request that of me, that the marriage bed was something sacred and private. I don't really see the sacred thing as I'm not religious, but I'm 100% on the private. His mother has close relatives she stayed over all the time before we moved towns, and I don't see the need to be uncomfortable and invaded because she prefers to sleep with the AC in our house. My husband and I talked earlier today and our upbringings clashed. I'm aware that we have different mindsets, but I established clear boundaries on the things that matter. This was something that mattered to me, and he said he couldn't understand how me feeling this invasion really being that big of a deal, as it was only a bed that we could strip the sheets later. While my somewhat sour relationship with his mother would make a lot more sense. That if I don't give way on this now in the future, if a like situation happened with his father, whom I have a good relationship, I would have to. I felt this is unfair as my key point was the privacy and private thing. We agreed to disagree, and on the end, his mother won't stay over. Was I an a-hole for putting my quirk and need for privacy over his mother's comfort?
I don't think she's the a-hole. I think it really is just differences. So the mother asked her directly, or did she ask her son? Because that's another thing that I wish was clear.
It didn't say, to my
Okay.
knowledge. It said, but I would assume she asked the son because it says she texted, I think.
Yeah, I don't think she's the a-hole. I don't think her husband is the a-hole either, although he's probably more of it than her in this situation. But I think it's just a case of for him, it's like, okay, yeah, no problem. The bed's there. You can sleep on it. We can strip the sheets and the pillows and all of that stuff later. It's no big deal. So I think it really is just their upbringing where he's thinking this is no big deal. And she's like, oh no, I barely went to sleep with you. The bed is it's a different situation for me. Um, and this isn't a thing where they could have even talked about it before because this probably came out of left field. Like, who would anticipate that the mom would be like, "Oh, let us sleep in your room." I've had situations where an in-law comes over and someone might offer their room if all the other
Mhm.
rooms are occupied, but then that's that person offering. It's not it's not them demanding it,
Mhm.
you know, or
Yeah,
requesting.
I think it's an odd request, especially hearing that one, y'all don't have the best relationship, as you
Mhm.
said. Okay, you
Yeah,
have your different upbringings and your feelings about privacy. Um, yeah, I don't think you're the a-hole.
yeah.
I think that if it's something that's sacred to you, I think your husband should probably back you up. And it's not like this is an emergency.
Right,
This is
right.
just a one-off, like, oh, I need this for convenience.
Or she
So,
doesn't have other places to be.
and then the husband said something later where he's like, basically, if you don't give in on this, then it could cause more issues down
Mhm.
the line or something like that. But I don't know. I think that's a bit unfair because it seems like you're keeping tabs. Like, as a wife, she should be able to vocalize
In
the
her
things that
home.
are important to her
Yeah.
in her home. Now, I definitely understand being mindful and how you bring things up and how you respond, just because you don't want to create unnecessary tension.
Mhm.
But she also can't be on eggshells about wanting things to be a certain way in her home.
Absolutely. And it seems like in the end, he maybe did back her up because the mom ended up not staying there. So but I can understand how the process getting to that probably was like, bruh, how can you not see this is
And
important?
I could see how that would be frustrating, and that it shouldn't even have to be me to tell you that.
Mhm.
Why does your mom need to sleep in our room? And then also another layer to this too
Yeah.
is that they were already out of town. So it's one thing
Right.
if you prepare your
Hear your
room for
right.
guests,
Yes.
but many people, you leave stuff laying out, you got this, your personal things, your grown business.
Mhm. Your
And
grown business.
and here she come through with her night bag, treating it like it's a hotel.
A spending the night bag.
Is she gonna change the sheets? Is she gonna freshen it up when she
Yeah.
leaves? Probably
That
not.
would be
Just
the
so I
most
got
uncomfortable. Yeah.
now
And why
you having to think like, did I leave such and such out or did
and as the mom, low key, as the mom, why would you want to come into your child's room that they did not have time to prepare? It is a little too intimate. And I come from a family where,
Mhm.
we
But
all over
not
each
when
other's
people
business.
are married, you have multiple rooms in the house. I can remember like when I was in my first apartment, I only had a one bedroom.
Mhm.
Okay, my parents come to visit. Of course, y'all are gonna sleep in my
In the
bed and
room.
I'll
Yeah.
sleep on the couch. But I'm also not married. I'm single.
Mhm.
I want my parents to be comfortable while they're in town visiting me. But
When you're
as I
married
got
now.
older, if I only had a one bedroom and I'm married or with someone, it's like, okay, y'all gonna have to get a hotel or go stay somewhere else.
And
Like,
that's
come
the thing, like, I
on.
don't know, was there nowhere else that she could have slept
She
in
wanted
the house for
AC.
us? But in the house, like, the house
Oh, yeah, yeah. She probably didn't wanna sleep on the
couch or
couch. Yeah.
I don't really
He's
like
like,
that.
"Oh, it's a perfectly good bed down the hall right there."
You guys let us know
Oh.
what you think. I think it is really just a difference of family cultures, though. But also the
Mhm.
fact that they were out of town. Like, I would be way more comfortable with someone sleeping in my bedroom if I were in the same house. But when I'm out of town, and it does feel a little bit weird, especially if you have those like spatial boundaries that she seems to really have, because she said she had an issue even sleeping with her husband in the same space.
And you hadn't prepared the room, changed the sheets, nothing, just you left it thinking, "Oh, I'll be back to my room in a
Right.
few
Ain't
days."
nobody finna be in here.
Mm.
All right. You guys let us know what you think about this scenario. And we will catch you guys on the next one, probably in a few days. So
Yep.
stay tuned for that and make sure you're subscribed. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.